What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So we're going to do a stimulus package update. I have two things that I want to talk about today. The Get My Payment portal. Also, I want to talk about the Georgia runoff because we have good news when it comes to both these topics. But before I get started talking about that, we have to talk about what we saw on Capitol Hill today. We all know right from wrong. And we know watching that today that was just wrong. This is a situation where you had Congress trying to certify the electoral votes, and you had people protesting, going into the Capitol and putting a stop to it, basically, putting it on hold and damaging the building and pretty much holding people hostage, holding the vice president hostage, holding these Congress people hostage, holding all the employees of the Capitol a hostage. It was one of those things that, I mean, you look at it and you think this could never happen in the U.S., but it actually did. And I don't want to get too deep into the woods and get into the political talk and all that, but I think we can all admit we shouldn't be seeing this type of behavior in the U.S. We shouldn't see it anywhere, but it's one of those situations where we need to come together as a people. We do. We need to come together, understand there was an election. The election's over now. We have a winner. We have a loser. We have to move forward. And if it's a situation just like this, where let's say if you were the loser and you don't think that you lost, it wasn't legitimate, then you go to the court process. And we saw that time after time after time. And they were not victorious. And so at that point, that's your avenue. It shouldn't go any further from there. Unfortunately, someone lost their life today, and we saw police officers get injured. I mean, we need to be in a situation where we get past this. We are really divided as a country right now. We need to come together and move forward. We're in a crisis right now, a pandemic, and we're dealing with the political unrest. And I mean, it's just crazy. So that's all I want to say when it comes to this. I mean, it was crazy. I was getting text messages from people all over the world. Like, I have friends in other countries, and they're texting me and sending me video footage of what's going on in the Capitol and asking me if I'm okay and all this. I mean, it's crazy. The world is watching us. So I hope we can come together and move forward. And I mean, that's all I want to say when it comes down to it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Get My Payment portal. So I tried to sign in yesterday, and I get this message here. Let me show you the message. I get the infamous, please try again later. And you've been locked out basically for 24 hours. So, and I think I know what happened. And let me explain this to you, so hopefully you won't make the same mistake. I have kind of an auto generator. When I type my name in, everything else kind of auto generates, and then you can just hit return and it'll bring everything up. Don't do that, because if you do that, for whatever reason, the IRS portal doesn't understand a lot of what you're putting in there. And so I did it. I hit return, and it was telling me I needed to add something else. I added that. I hit return, and then it was telling me to add things that were already showing, but I don't think it just was not registering. So you do not want to be in that situation where you just use that auto generator. Make sure you type everything in. Again, if it auto generates, delete it and type everything in. And that way, hopefully it will go through, because now it's telling me I have to wait 24 hours. And so I just wanted to check the status. It wasn't one of those situations where I, needed to know what was going on. I just wanted to check the status just for you guys, just to show you what it shows. But yes, I got locked out. And so let's hope that's not a pattern. Let me know in the comment section if you guys are having issues and you're getting locked out, because this is definitely something that was a problem last time, and it looks like it's still happening because it happened to me. But remember, auto generator, don't use that at all. Make sure you type everything in word for word. That way, hopefully, the IRS portal can recognize what you're putting in. All right, the next thing we want to talk about is the Georgia election. So we have Mr. Warnock and Mr. Ossoff, they have been projected winners of the senatorial races, I should say. So we have 2 Democrats coming from Georgia. So what does this all mean? So that means that Chuck Schumer, the Democrat, he becomes the majority leader in the Senate. That means he controls the floor. That means that he can call whatever to the floor he wants to call to the floor. So that means a standalone stimulus check that he was talking about before, the $2,000 standalone stimulus check. Guess what? He can call that to the floor. Now, they have to still go through the process. So the House is still going to have to vote on a $2,000 stimulus check. Then it has to go over to the Senate. And then at that point, he can call it to the floor. However, I think we're going to have to wait until President-elect Joe Biden comes in. And they might want to do something now. They might want to get a full package together, since now you have a Democrat running the House, a Democrat running the Senate, and the president being Democrat. So you might see a situation where they say, okay, you know what? Let's take a couple of months, get a big package together, and then move forward with that. Now, just because the Democrats have a majority in the Senate now, it doesn't mean that they don't have to negotiate with the other side. They still have to negotiate with the Republicans. And the reason for this is because you need 60 votes. 60 votes will avoid a debate. Okay, and you've heard the word filibuster, where politicians or senators will come on the Senate floor and they'll just waste time. They'll stall. They'll read a phone book. They'll read nursery tales or whatever. They'll just do something to stall. So that's why you need the 60 votes. If you get the 60 votes, you avoid the debate. But if you don't get the 60 votes, well, then it's open for debate. And so that's it. So it's going to be crucial to get those 60 votes. So what does this mean? So this means if you have 50 Democratic senators and they all vote for a $2,000 stimulus check, you're still going to need 10 Republican senators to go with the Democrats in order to avoid a debate. And so you still have to do some negotiating. It's not just going to be an automatic thing. And so we'll have to see how they handle this. And like I said, we don't know if it's going to be a standalone or if it's going to be a big package. We'll have to see how they want to handle it. And it's going to be ultimately up to President-elect Joe Biden to kind of figure out how he wants to tackle this. There could be a situation where they say, okay, you know what? Let's do the $2,000 standalone stimulus check. Do that first and then work on a bigger package later. That could be an option. And that could mean that we get the $2,000 stimulus check top off, if you want to call it that. So it will go with this stimulus check. So people got $600, then they'll get an additional $1,400 to make the $2,000, and then potentially 2-3 months down the road, we could get another stimulus check. That could happen. You now have Democrats running both chambers and the White House, so that's very possible. But we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait and see how this all plays out. So that's what we have. Those are the two stories that I really wanted to focus on. So remember the Get My Payment portal. Go over there. You can check your status. Don't use the auto-generated. Make sure you type in everything word for word. And then when it comes to the Georgia election, that's good news. Georgia went blue. We've been saying Georgia needs to go blue. They went blue. And so now we have a changing of the guard when it comes to the Senate. And Mitch McConnell, he's still going to be the minority leader. So he's not going to have powers that a majority leader would have. So he's still going to be there. He's not going anywhere. But he's not going to be able to call anything to the floor now. And so I think that's going to be good. I think people are going to be happy at least to know, okay, now Mitch McConnell, he can't stall when it comes to a $2,000 stimulus check. He doesn't have any power to do that. He can vote no, but he can't stall and not bring it to the floor. So I think that's really good news. I want to know what you guys think about this whole thing with Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer. Are you happy Mitch McConnell is no longer in power? Let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.